Hello Year 3 and welcome to Lesson 1 of Art Week, and we're going to be bringing Robin Hood to life. Okay, our LO and our date today is the 15th of March 2021, and our LO is to create paper mache characters. So we've got several steps that we're going to do for this, but all I want you to do is copy down the date and the LO. So after I finish saying this, you can pause the video and then unpause when you're ready to continue. So we're going to identify the appearance of these characters from a description. Then we're going to mind map these appearances in our sketchbooks. And then we're going to use paper mache to make the characters. And finally, we're going to say how we made them by writing a summary for each character, explaining why we have made them in that way and the reasons why. Okay. Perfect. Pause the video now, get the date and LO into your sketchbook, and then we're ready to move on. And we'll do that in 3, 2, 1. So, why are we doing this? Well, something exciting here. Over the next 2 weeks, so this week and next week, we're going to make a Robin Hood play. We're going to have characters, we're going to have music, and we're going to have a script as well. Now, the music and the script, that's going to come next week. But this week, we're going to focus on making our characters and find different ways to do that. So, today, we're going to use paper mache to make some puppets, just like the ones that you can see in the picture there. Right. So look at these pictures of Robin Hood. What do you notice about his appearance? There are many different pictures of Robin Hood here, and there's been many different people playing him and different characters. We've got cartoons there, we've got a statue. But what do you notice about him? Take a moment to pause and just think about some ideas. Okay. I'll give you a few of my ideas as well. First of all, think about what colours does he wear? That's pretty much the same in all of these pictures. What colour? That's right, green. Because he needs to blend into his surroundings. He needs to be safe in the forest so that the sheriff and the soldiers can't catch him. Facial expressions. Now, he strikes me as quite a confident, happy type of character. And of course he is, because he's the hero and he's someone that people look up to. What's his body type? Is he fat? Is he thin? I mean, he's a very active person, isn't he? So he's very healthy and he keeps very fit as well. So he's quite a thin character. So we need to bear that in mind when we're creating these characters over this next week. His height. Well, he's not massive, he's not Little John, is he? But he's not small either. He's of average height, isn't he? So when we're creating characters, he's going to be somewhere in the middle, really. And his personality, we've already spoke about it. He's confident, he's nice, he's kind, he's generous, and also he is someone who always tries to do the right thing. So what are we going to do with this? Well, we are going to have a look at this piece of writing, and we're going to write down some adjectives under our LO in our sketchbook. So I'll read it out to you, and when you hear an adjective, a word that describes Robin, then you write that word down next to the words Robin Hood. Okay? So Robin Hood was an outlaw in English folklore. Some legends say that he was really Robin of Locksley, an earl, who became a fugitive, that means a criminal, someone or an outlaw, after the evil sheriff of Nottingham stole his house and land while he was away fighting the Crusades with King Richard, which obviously we covered in History Week. He was an expert archer and swordsman, so that means he was really good at it, who lived in Sherwood Forest with an equally skilled band of merry men who robbed from the rich to give to the poor. To his arch enemy, the Sheriff of Nottingham, Robin was a villain and a wanted man. To the poor of Sherwood Forest, however, he was a hero, and he will be our hero in the story. Okay, write down some adjectives that describe Robin in your book now. Moving on. Here are the adjectives that I saw. I saw outlaw, earl, fugitive, which means criminal or outlaw, expert, merry, that's important, and hero. We have to think of the merry part because when we design his face later on and we look at the expression that we're going to draw or paint on his face, it needs to be merry and happy. So these are the ones that I thought were important in terms of describing what he looks like. Now, I've done it as a mind map, but if you haven't, then that's okay. Just write down some words that are extra and I'll give you some now. So I've got merry, confident, slim, that means thin and fit and in shape, and he wears green cloth as well. So we can use green cloth maybe later when we make our puppets and we add an outfit to them. See if you can find any more adjectives that you can put on your list in your sketchbooks. Okay. Once you've done that, we'll move on in 3, 2, 1. Now, what is paper mache? And what materials do we need for this? What can you see on the screen? That's right, we can see PVA. We've got PVA glue here. We have strips of paper, which will be given. And there's a balloon here, but we won't be doing that. We're going to be screwing up a paper ball into a ball shape, which is going to be the head of our puppet. Okay? So here are the steps that we're going to follow. Don't worry about reading them all now because we're going to talk about them one by one. So the first step is that you need to take your paper and screw it up into a tight ball. I know that you all know how to do that. Step 2, an adult will bring you strips of paper, or if you're at home, if you can cut your paper into thin strips. Then when you've done that and you have your paper, your table will be called to go to the adult at the PVA tray. Now, if you're at home, then you should have some glue at home that you might be able to stick on top of the paper ball as well. If you're waiting though, please find more adjectives for your mind map. There's always something that we can do that's extra, and there shouldn't be any time where we have nothing to do. Step 3, so the adult will give you these glued strips of paper once you've come up to the PVA tray, and then you'll be able to stick those around your paper ball. Now once they've dried, that means that you'll have something solid that looks like a head, but it usually takes about 2 days to dry. So when we finish the heads, it will be later in the week. So we're firstly going to make Robin Hood, his head, out of this paper mache, and the paper ball that you've got needs to be absolutely covered in these glued strips of paper, okay? No paper underneath showing, it needs to be covered in the PVA glued strips. We're going to be painting the face on Thursday using your mind map adjectives to help us really get those expressions on his face. And finally, an adult will take your character to a safe place in the classroom to dry, or if you're at home, just find a safe place for it to dry. Usually somewhere that is revealed to the sun means it will dry quicker, and it usually takes 2 days, so obviously we'll be waiting till later in the week to continue them. So step 1. This is where we take the paper and screw it up into a tight ball. So if you have maybe 2 or 3 sheets of paper, I want you to screw them up now and make a head with a paper ball that will be the head. Pause the video now and give that a try. Okay, moving on to step 2 in 3, 2, 1. Step 2, obviously there's our PVA glue, there's our paper strips, and of course if you're waiting, then we have our mind map as well. So find more adjectives for the mind map if you're waiting to be called up to the PVA tray, or if you're waiting for them to be ready, the paper strips. Okay, step 3 in 3, 2, 1. Okay, step 3. The adult will give you some glued strips of paper. Yeah? Or if you're at home, you'll have to just apply them yourselves. And you're going to stick them around the paper ball. And remember to cover it completely. And when they dry, that will be Robin Hood's head. And the ball that you've got needs to be totally covered. Yeah? And obviously we've said that we're going to be painting the face on Thursday. Now, if you're done early, again, go back to your sketchbooks and then write down exactly what you've just done. So, first of all, we do it in instructions. First of all, we screwed up a paper ball. Second, we got our PVA glued strips from an adult. And then third, we covered our paper ball in the PVA strips and waited for it to dry. Moving on to step 4 in 3, 2, 1. Okay, these are all of the steps because step 4, obviously an adult will take your character to a safe place in the classroom to dry. Or if you're at home, find a place where it will dry out best. And then obviously we will come back to it later in the week. Now, once you've done Robin Hood, have a look and see if you can make a Maid Marion, because obviously with a puppet theatre, we're going to need more than one character. So we're going to have to take another paper ball and make a character for Maid Marion as well. So there are some options. There are 6 different options, I believe. And we're not going to do all of them, but we're going to do some. So you need to decide which characters that you will be using in your play and making a paper mache puppet. So if you want to do Maid Marion character 2, pause the video here, read the information, come up with some adjectives, and then go through those steps again that we went for with Robin Hood. If you want to try Little John, who's obviously a lot bigger, a lot stronger, and he's probably going to have a bigger head than the others, then pause the video now. If you want to try Friar Tuck, read the information and pause the video now before trying that. If you want to try the Sheriff of Nottingham, now I think it would be a very good idea to try the Sheriff of Nottingham, because what would a great Robin Hood story be without an evil villain in it as well? Because then we can really make a good play script and have Robin against the evil Sheriff of Nottingham. I think this would be a good one. We've also got the Guy of Gisbourne, who worked with the sheriff, and he was evil too, wasn't he? Now, read the information there if you want to try Guy of Gisbourne, and then make another head if you can. I think really we need at least 3 heads if you can make 3 to make a good little play. And finally, we've got a knight as well. Now, there isn't any information about a single knight because there are loads of them. So that's something that we will approach in terms of making later in the week and designing. But with the knight, just think about the face and the appearance and think about what adjectives that we could use to describe a knight. Now, the knights are going to be against Robin, aren't they? They're going to be working for the sheriff or Gisbourne. So pause the video if you want to try a knight. Okay, and that is all that we are going to do today. We've made our paper mache heads, we've looked at the characters, and they're ready. We've started to get our play ready that we'll perform over the next 2 weeks. Well done everybody, great artwork, and I'll see you tomorrow for some more.